Tonight, are vulnerable Londoners missing out on getting the COVID jab? Good evening. London has the highest COVID infection rates in England, with the mayor only last week declaring a major incident as our hospitals struggle to cope with demand. Well, today, Sadiq Khan said he was extremely concerned that the capital has so far only been allocated 10% of available vaccines, far less than other regions, and despite being more densely populated. Well, tonight, NHS England say London has had our fair share. Rags Martel now on how vulnerable Londoners have been left waiting. Well, we've just heard actually from a spokesperson from the NHS in London said London is getting its fair share of the vaccine supply for the priority groups that we have to vaccinate by mid-February. Rags is here now. Rags, also moving from this story, we've had confirmation of some other sad news tonight.
That's right, Lucrezia. 3 more teams came from, said our thoughts are with the families and drivers of...
Thank you. Well, vaccinations are maybe our only way out of the pandemic and eventually a way to ease the pressures on the NHS. This morning, ITV News went to St George's Hospital in Tooting, where 297 patients are being treated for coronavirus. The intensive care unit there has doubled its capacity. Even so, they are 90% full and the demand is rising. Chloe Keedy reports. At the House of Commons today, the Speaker, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, paid tribute to a parliamentary security worker whose death was COVID-related. Well, there's more evidence today of the devastating impact the pandemic's had on the aviation industry. Budget airline Norwegian Air has axed more than 1,000 cabin crew and pilot roles at Gatwick Airport. The company has stopped offering long-haul flights in a bid to stay in the air. Well, Nithya Rajan is at Gatwick for us this evening. Nithya, this is really bad news for people working in the area as well, isn't it? In the last few hours, there have been more changes for travellers arriving into the UK, haven't there? Yeah, thank you. Next tonight, the family of an Orthodox Jewish man say he was unable to eat for 4 days while being treated at the Royal London Hospital. Gabriel Baum was 77. He only ate kosher food but wasn't offered any. Well, his son says they are sure that contributed to his death. As Sam Holder reports, getting kosher food to those who need it is a problem right across the capital's hospitals. Next tonight, the digital divide and how one group in Brixton is trying to close the gap. According to Ofcom, 9% of children don't have laptops or access to the internet. That's over 1 million young people in the country being held back in their homeschooling and lacking much needed connectivity. Well, the Restart project is asking people with older or spare devices to donate them. Janet Gunter is co-founder of the charity and she joins us now. Janet, thanks so much for talking to us. The Restart project, you've been around since 2013. Haven't you, doing what you do? But I guess now that demand is more than ever. Well, are we to have a spare laptop lying around or you know, a device like that?
We've had
We talk about how they can be repurposed or reused again, but you're also looking for Londoners who are a bit tech savvy, aren't you, who can kind of help with that process?
Absolutely.
Well, now a 12-year-old girl from Essex is in desperate need of a bone marrow transplant and is appealing for people to join the register. Libby Kotz from Buckhurst Hill was diagnosed with severe aplastic anemia in October. The pandemic means tests to find a match for Libby are being limited or delayed, as Katie Barnfield reports. Now to the outside world, my next guest tonight appeared to have it all, a glittering TV career, including hosting Top of the Pops and Celebrity Juice, her own primetime radio show, and all the perceived glamour of fame. But recently, Fern Cotton has stepped back from all of that a little bit. And in the new book, she speaks candidly about dealing with depression and anxiety and how that has affected her career. The book is called Speak Your Truth, and I'm very pleased to say that Fern joins us now. Hi, Fern. Thanks so much for talking to us. Listen, I know you've got a podcast already and it's called Happy Place. You've written self-help books before, haven't you? But this one is really about you, isn't it? Bad way, Fern, I didn't, but it's interesting, isn't it? But you know that people, you know, they look at the life and the glamour of telly and all the rest of it, and people just think, oh wow, it's all amazing. But you know, in the book you talk about the pressures of having, you know, to pretend to be that shiny, happy person all of the time.
Yeah, I mean,
in all of this as well, I mean, We're all kind of going through something at the moment, and you're saying about shifting focus. And I think a lot of people are kind of reassessing at the moment right now, aren't they? And they're dealing with so many different things and maybe listing priorities in a different order.
Yeah.
Joy, a lot of that's going to come from family time, isn't it? You mentioned homeschooling there, but it is wonderful to spend a bit more time with them, isn't it?
It is.
Finally, a community bookshop in East London is bucking the trend of losing sales and managing a roaring trade. It's all thanks to some loyal locals and a bit of social media magic. Sally Williams went to investigate. We love a happy ending. Oh, another grey and rainy day in London. How's it looking as we get closer to the weekend? Sally is back now with the weather. And that is it from us for now. We are back with the latest after ITV News at 10. Coming up, Mary with the ITV Evening News from me and the rest of the London team. Bye-bye. Take care.